Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have made it. We're here. We're in the Stanley Cup Finals. We have the Western Conference champions, Dallas Stars, facing off against the Eastern Conference champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Both teams finished off their series. These ones didn't go to 7. What we'll do is we'll go over how the Dallas Stars got here, how the Tampa Bay Lightning got here, points and all that stuff for Dallas, points and all that for Tampa Bay. Then we'll go with who has the advantage offensively, defensively, special teams, goaltending, and then we'll finish this all off, give my predictions for the Stanley Cup final, and who will claim the 2020 Stanley Cup and hoist it over their heads and not social distance at all when celebrating. Ready? Let's get right into it. Here we go. My predictions for the Dallas Stars and Tampa Bay Lightning 2020 Stanley Cup Final. First, I think it's important to figure out how we got here. We're going to start with the Dallas Stars. We're going to go over how they made it to the Stanley Cup Final, and we'll go over points and all that fun stuff for them, who I felt were their MVPs, people who need to step up in the finals, etc. So, Dallas Stars, they start off, they're in the round robin play. Okay, so they're in the round robin play, and they end up seeding against the very, very good Calgary Flames in the first round of the actual playoffs. So Dallas ended up being 3rd seed after the round robin. Flames ended up 6th seed after the Flames knocked off the Winnipeg Jets. I actually picked Calgary to win in 7. I didn't think Dallas was going to be able to do it. Thought the Flames they'd be able to just take out the Dallas Stars, mainly due to offense. However, in the end, it was the Dallas Stars claiming the victory over the Calgary Flames. This series had everything, basically. Big leads to all of a sudden it's 3-0, next thing you know it's 7-3 and those kind of things. Dallas scored in bunches in this series. Anton Khudobin took the starter's job. Ben Bishop only saw limited ice, and it's been that way ever since. Dallas Stars win that series, they move on, and they play the Colorado Avalanche. In this series, again, there was some high-scoring games and some low. Dallas ended up taking a 3-1 series lead at one point, with Colorado coming back, tying the series 3-3, but it's Dallas Stars and Mr. Kiviranta, who makes his debut in Game 7, gets a hat trick, wins it at OT, and the Dallas Stars move on to the Western Conference Final, beating the Avalanche, who were my pick to end up winning the Stanley Cup. Not only winning this series, but I expected them to win the Western Conference and then win the Stanley Cup. Dallas Stars knocked them off. And then Dallas meets the number 1 seed, the top team who analysts and experts predicted to win the cup. They had the overall team, the depth team to do it. And the Dallas Stars and Anton Khudobin shut the door on the Golden Knights. Yes, analytics should have won. They generated more chances. They outshot Dallas close to 2-1 at times. Sometimes it wouldn't surprise me if it was 3-1. It was that big. But Dallas kept the Golden Knights to the outside. Wasn't maybe high quality chances, but they were getting their shots off. But Khudobin played absolutely unbelievable. If you've seen his video where he goes, "We're not going home." Well, it's true, because they're going to the Stanley Cup Final. Anton Khudobin played amazing, and they defeated the Golden Knights in 5 games to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals. So we've been through how Dallas got here. Let's just summarize the points, really. So top point getter is, of course, defenseman Miro Heiskanen. He's been unbelievable. He's on the ice non-stop. What a draft pick, and just what a player. Him, Makar, Hughes, they're the next big thing on D. So he has 22 points in 21 games. Jamie Benn had a very good series against Vegas. He had some very good goals, opportune times. He has 18 points in 21 games. Guryanov, of course, got the game-winning goal in overtime to knock off Vegas on the power play. He started the playoffs really hot, cooled down a bit there, but of course finishes off in OT with the biggest goal of the playoffs so far for the Dallas Stars. Klingberg, he's been a minute muncher. He's on every time Dallas gets a power play, scoring chances. He's right in there. He has 16 points in 20 games. And then you have Pavelski and Radulov, 14 points each. Both just seem to drive play in the offensive zone, and they're just getting their chances, really. Those key opportune times when you need them, they're there. Before I move on to who I think needs to step up, let's look at the goaltending, shall we? And in net, Ben Bishop has had 3 starts so far. He's 1-2 with a .541 goals against average and an .844 save percentage. And that is why Anton Goudobin has started so far. He's 12-6, .262 goals against average, which, okay, maybe a bit high. However, his .920 save percentage is unbelievable. At times, it's him making those key saves, 6, 7 saves in a game where, wouldn't complain if they went in. But he's just been there. He's been a wall. Yes, at 5'11", he's been the wall for Dallas. He's been phenomenal. One of the only reasons they are in this position. Now, let's just go to who I think needs to step up, and that's Tyler Seguin. Even in the Vegas win, he looked not 100% there. You really need to step up. I know he's trying to play a more defensive game, obviously, but it's the goal scoring that they need from him. He only has 8 points in 20 games. 2 of those 8 points are goals. If they're going to beat Tampa Bay, Tyler Seguin needs to find his game. He needs to be able to give more to the Dallas Stars, because if not, Tampa Bay's defense and the way they play, they can take advantage of that. Seguin needs to step up and play a huge role offensively for the Dallas Stars to give them a chance to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. So there we go. There we have the Dallas Stars. There's the stats so far. Okay, let's head to the Eastern Conference now. So we're in the East now, and we're gonna go over the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are the Eastern Conference champions. Round robin, they ended up second in the round robin, just behind Philly, of course above Capitals and Bruins. Their first round, they got the Blue Jackets. Now remember, last year, Tampa Bay had that 3-0 lead, I think, in the first game, and allowed Columbus back in the game. Columbus won. They won Game 2, Game 3, Game 4. Columbus swept Tampa Bay. People thought Tampa Bay might blow it up after that loss, that embarrassing loss. But instead, they stuck with their core and basically added to the team. So who'd they get? They ended up bringing in Shattenkirk, who was cast off from the Rangers, and he's been a good addition. Bogosian was a cast off from, I believe it was Buffalo. He was another addition. Luke Shen came in, made some good trades at the deadline. They got in Barclay Goodrow and Coleman from New Jersey. And now their lineup is just set. Obviously, Steven Stamkos hurt, but Point, Kucherov, Palat stepped up. You have Coleman in there. You got Johnson still. They're just a solid team, both offensively and then, of course, defensively. Works out really well. Of course, Victor Hedman and Vasilevsky in net. Can't go wrong with that. So they played Columbus, and they were some tight games. Korpisalo and Vasilevsky dueled, but Tampa Bay came through with the win. Move on, then they played the Boston Bruins and dismantled the Bruins, which is lovely to see. Tampa Bay dismantled the Bruins. Go against the Islanders. They had that massive 8-2 blowout where it looked they were unstoppable. Kucherov had that crazy little, I don't even know, deflection pass, then led to the 2-on-1. Everything was working for them. The Islanders gave them a good series after that, though. Obviously, Tampa Bay led in shots, similar to what the Golden Knights were doing against Dallas. However, Tampa Bay managed to score when they needed to. The Islanders took some untimely penalties, or there was one little mistake in defensive coverage, and Tampa Bay was able to capitalize. Thinking back was the Kucherov goal, where they just lost defensive positioning. The Islanders did, and Kucherov scored with like 7.5, 8 seconds left to win that one game. building the momentum. Anyway, it's OT winner Cirelli, who just somehow always scores big OT winners. He's clutch in overtime. He's done it from junior all the way till now, and so he finished off the series in 6, and that's how Tampa Bay made it to the finals against the Dallas Stars. Now let's just go down and we'll break down Tampa Bay stats in this playoffs so far, and then we'll compare them to the Stars. So, looking at the Tampa Bay Lightning, of course they're going to have the high-powered offense. They did have that 8-2 win, but obviously comparable to the Dallas Stars, other than the top 2 point getters, who are forwards compared to the Dallas Stars defensemen, and of course Captain Jamie Benn. Points-wise, it's actually pretty close. So you have Kucherov with 26, you have Braden Point with 25, though Braden Point has played 2 less games. Remember, he was injured in the New York Islanders series, but when he was in the lineup, he was an absolute stud. Victor Hedman is 15 and 19, and then you go down, you have like Palat and Yanni Gourde in there. Blake Coleman is 10 points. But overall, it's pretty good. I do think Tampa Bay has the better offense, but stats-wise, it's quite even. And that's probably because Dallas, in the previous series, they scored in bunches, and they had some high-scoring series against Calgary. Colorado had that playoff, had some high-scoring games. Vegas obviously didn't have the high-scoring games, but those other 2 series, that helped out the points, let's say. But both teams have played very low-scoring series. Dallas obviously is a very defensive team, and Tampa Bay had to play against the Islanders, who are again a very defensive team. I feel that Dallas got good practice for Tampa Bay as they played Vegas, and same with Tampa Bay because they played the Islanders. So it's like a similar matchup which both teams faced in their respective conference finals. Goaltending, obviously Goudobin, 262 goals against average, 920 save percentage. Vasilevsky here, 14 wins, 5 losses, 1.82 goals against average, 931 save percentage. Again, there's a reason why he's one of, if not the best goalie in the league. He got that big payday. He's absolutely brilliant. He's a stud. He's playing everything, and that's not going to change. Vasilevsky, amazing. Now, just like with Dallas, where I said Seguin needs to step up, for these guys, for Tampa Bay, honestly, it's not one of their stars. I guess the only thing you could probably say is hopefully Point isn't hurt, so he makes a big difference. But if they can get Steven Stamkos back, would that be a nice bonus? If I had to pick one person, maybe more than one empty net goal from Patty Maroon, Stanley Cup champion. He was big for St. Louis last year. Maybe gets more net front presence from him, which I think will be key against Dallas. So hopefully he can step up for Tampa Bay. Other than that, I think the biggest factor would be, is Braden Point healthy, and will Steven Stamkos make an appearance? All right, let's go on to who I think has the advantage offensively, defensively, special teams, goaltending, and then we'll go through my picks. Okay, so let's do some comparisons. Well, not comparisons, let's just go over who I think have the advantages in different phases of this matchup. So offensively, I'm going to give it to the Tampa Bay Lightning, mainly just based on their big scorers are scoring, and they seem to be clutch. They have a very deep lineup compared to the Dallas Stars, as in just being able to generate chances and score. Dallas, they score on their limited number of chances. Tampa Bay gets lots of chances, plus they can score on their big time scoring chances. Braden Point, I think, is going to be massive. If he's healthy, he's going to be a big difference maker. And what puts them over the top is if they can get Steven Stamkos back. Offensively, I'm going with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Defensively, Dallas plays a very defensive style game. However, they've been outshot, and analytically, hasn't been favorable for them, but they've defeated analytics by obviously winning. Tampa Bay, obviously they can generate their chances and stuff like that, which helps their defensive end. However, what I did notice throughout the playoffs is teams can get behind Tampa's defense and they get their chances, they can get their looks. I think Dallas, even though yes, they rely on Goudobin, their goaltending quite a bit, Tampa Bay is a little bit more lackluster in their own zone, and they're looking for the breakout, let's go, let's score. I think Dallas as a team are deeper defensively, so I'm going defense to the Dallas Stars. Let's go to special teams now. Special teams, for some reason Dallas can somehow score on the power play. In Tampa Bay last series, I think they only had one goal on the power play, which is a shock. I'm going to say Tampa Bay is able to readjust, and I think power play wise, I'm going to give it to Tampa Bay. But penalty kill wise, I'm going to give it to the Dallas Stars. Tampa Bay, just like in 5-on-5, teams can get behind their defense, and just like on the power play, they give up chances. They gave up chances against Islanders, against other series, or other teams in other series. So special teams, I'm going to call it a draw. Dallas has been good on the penalty kill. Power play wise, if you go back to the regular season, they were atrocious. I don't know how the power play is going to be, but I think it evens out really. Just because Tampa Bay is very risky. Dallas again is that solid defense, so I'm going to call that wash. Goaltending. Now Anton Goudobin has stolen games. He's been unbelievable, but I'm not going to go away from Vasilevsky. To have a goals against average and a save percentage like that, and only face like 20 shots a game, absolutely outshoot the other teams. Obviously he played phenomenal in those overtime games and stuff against the Islanders. I'm going to go Vasilevsky. To have those numbers and see that little shot, to have a save percentage like that, unbelievable. Goudobin, not taking anything from him. The Russian man has done well. Got two Russian goalies head to head, but I'm going to take Vasilevsky over Goudobin. Tampa Bay gets the goaltending edge. And in the end, who's going to win the Stanley Cup? Now to me, I want the Dallas Stars to win. I do. I feel like what they've done, bringing in Pavelski, even though he had not the best year, he's found his game in the playoffs. I absolutely love Radulov and just how he plays and his tenacity, his love for the game, his enthusiasm. I want Dallas to win it. However, prediction-wise, I just can't do it. And hey, who knows? Maybe they win because all the time I've been going against Dallas and they've been proving me wrong. But I'm going to go against them again. I'm going to say the Tampa Bay Lightning take this in 6. It wouldn't surprise me if Dallas takes game 1. But I'm going to say Tampa Bay Lightning will win the Stanley Cup in 6 games. That's my final prediction. Let me know what your predictions are down below, your thoughts of the series and what's going to happen. Can't wait for game 1. See you then.